Hi there, and welcome to Hillcrest Connects, where we briefly want to share with you what it means to meet together as we catch a glimpse of what God is doing in and through our congregation. Today, I'm joined by Denver Knodel. He's the Executive Director of Whispering Pines Camp. Denver, thanks for coming in.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
So Denver, share with us how COVID-19 has affected you and your family.
It's been interesting to see, how family life works without like routine institution stuff, like without going to church on Sunday and without being involved in youth group or going out and, shopping or seeing family even. It's been interesting to see, how much extra time we have or like how much free time, I guess. The isolation of, not only being because of where we work, we're out in Elkwater, so we're out there all the time. But then not having the option to come into town and see a bunch of people has been tough for me and Julie, I think, as well, because we both like people, and so being separated from people has been hard. And so it's been good. We've been able to connect with our small group and our family and stuff over video message, but it's not quite the same as being together for a meal or sitting down and playing games or doing a Bible study and praying together.
Does that isolation affect your marriage at all? Your relationship at all? Does it add stresses that normally wouldn't be there?
Some days, yes, for sure. Yeah, it's this is something I realized a while ago, after we'd been married for a while. I realized that I'm actually a pretty decent husband, but I'm actually not a very good roommate. And so, so that puts some pressure on our relationship sometimes. But, it's one of those things where we're all being challenged, suddenly the things that aren't a big deal, you can't just avoid them anymore. And so, it's been good for us in the sense that we've actually had to work through some of that. Like, we actually have to work through what does it mean to, share a space better, and what does it mean to communicate with each other better, when we don't have other people we can reach out to because we're just together with each other, And so that's been good for us in that way. I feel like we've grown because of that in some ways, yeah.
So work for you is a little bit different than work for most people because we don't live in the same place we work. So how has this COVID-19 affected work and what you're doing and what you're planning and the future of the camp?
Having to become very creative and patient. We're kind of waiting to see what things are going to happen, right? What things are going to look like in a week, in a month. It's hard to know what the summer is going to look like. And so we have really tried to spend a lot more time, praying and seeking God and asking, what would you have us do this year? What does it look like for us personally to follow you? And as we are leading the camp, what does that look like? Because it doesn't appear like our, gathering limitations are going to be lifted, that soon or totally by, summertime maybe. And we're just not sure, And it's been hard for me because we just started this job in January, and I thought the big challenge this year was going to be us stepping out in faith and trusting God to take this position and do this work. But it's turning out that the hard part is trusting God when, now I don't know what it's going to be like. Now I just have to try and listen and honor God with what we do. And so it's, becoming a very different challenge than I thought it would be. And it's making me grow a lot personally because it would just be I don't know, I feel like you either have to grow in a situation like this or, give in to your hopelessness or something, right? Like you can't stay the same and expect it to be okay, because the world is not the same as it was, last year, right? And yeah, I don't know. I've spent a lot of time praying and taking care of odd jobs around the camp and trying to get things caught up in some ways. But it's hard to know what our programs are going to look like. So that's a big part of my job right now. And so just really waiting, seeking God, keeping in tune with the news and looking at what, our leadership group is putting together and asking for counsel and prayer. And yeah, it's a lot different than I thought it would be.
And we know God doesn't make mistakes. He brought you there for this time, for this reason, knowing what was going to happen. So does that bring you comfort? Is there something you can share about your experience, what you're going through right now, you can share with our church family?
It's been humbling to realize that God would, use me for this time, but also humbling to realize that if God's going to use me for this, I have to grow a lot. I have to actually learn to rely on Him and not to rely on my own strength. Because I don't know how to, personally, in my own heart, I don't know how to, predict the future and, guess at what's going to happen and, know which risks are the ones to take and not. But God knows. God sees the path, and He is going to lead us through that, and He's going to lead me through that. Because God knows the path forward, right? He knows what's going to happen. He can see where we need to be, and He's going to lead us into that. But we have to really trust and really lean on Him in this time.
We have to be faithful in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Denver, share with us how we as your church family can support you and encourage you.
Definitely be praying for us, praying for me and Julie as we're, trying to lead our family and the camp through this time, and then be praying for the rest of our board, that we would be able to make their wise choice about what the summer's going to look like. There's a lot of unknowns, but we know that God knows, and we're going to follow Him through this time, and just remember too that we still have financial needs as well, as do everyone. The church needs our support. All of the ministries that are normally around, we still all need your help to be able to make it through and get to the next season where we can, do ministry again. And so, just continue to be praying for us, supporting us however you can. And we've really appreciated how much support we've had so far in the year from our community, and we're just really thankful for that, and we don't want to overlook that. And so just want to take a minute to say thank you to those who are choosing to support the camp and the church through this season. So, yeah.
Thanks, Denver, for coming in and sharing with us, and thank you for joining us. To stay connected, sign up on Realm, follow us on our social media sites, or visit us at hillcrestchurch.net.